You ever wonder why you get the flu, but your coworker sitting right there next to you is totally fine? It's not just random luck. It's actually a mystery, and today we're going to be the ones to crack the case. We're diving headfirst into the world of epidemiology, the science of being a real-life health detective.
This question, why do we get sick? It's one of the oldest puzzles in all of human history. It's a mystery that has caused so much fear, but it's also led to some of the most incredible scientific breakthroughs we've ever had. I mean, really think about it for a second. In the same office, maybe even in the same house, one person will catch a nasty cold while someone else stays perfectly healthy. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a puzzle. And epidemiologists, well, they're the detectives who live to solve it.
For the longest time, people explained illness with superstition. You got sick because you made the gods angry or something. Then, bam, the germ theory comes along, this totally revolutionary idea that these tiny invisible things, microorganisms, are the real bad guys. It was a huge leap forward, but it still didn't explain why a germ makes one person sick and not the other.
So, to see how we first started connecting those dots, we've got to go back in time. We're opening up a real-world case file on a brilliant health detective who was hunting a silent killer on the foggy streets of London. Picture this. The year is 1854. London is this huge, crowded city, and a terrifying disease called cholera is just tearing through it like wildfire. People are dying, sometimes within hours of their first symptoms, and nobody has a clue why. So the big idea at the time was something called miasma, the theory that diseases spread through foul-smelling, bad air. And, it kind of made sense back then. But one doctor, a man named John Snow, he just wasn't buying it. He suspected the answer was something you could actually touch. And that's our hero, Dr. John Snow. Now, he didn't lock himself away in a lab. No, he hit the streets. He practiced what we now call, kind of affectionately, dirty shoe epidemiology, meaning he went out and got his information firsthand, right from the people and the places that were hit the hardest. And his method, as you can see here, was just brilliant. So systematic. He went door to door, interviewing families. He then put every single case on a map. And suddenly, a deadly pattern emerged, all clustered around one single water pump on Broad Street. His solution was just as direct. He convinced the authorities to remove the pump handle. And the result? It was incredible. New cases in that area stopped, almost overnight. This right here, this is the power of epidemiology. Dr. Snow solved the case using data and observation, without ever once seeing the actual cholera germ under a microscope. Amazing. Okay, so Dr. Snow's incredible work really laid the foundation for the entire modern science of epidemiology. So let's open up the official detective's toolkit that health investigators are using today. All right, so here's the textbook definition. I know, it sounds a little academic, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Distribution is all about finding patterns, the who and the where, and determinants, that's about finding the causes, the why. It's literally the science of solving health mysteries. So every single investigation starts with these three basic questions. When did it happen? Think about flu season. Where did it happen? Like, are there differences between city and country areas? And who did it affect? This could be based on age, your job, anything. It's the absolute basic framework for every health mystery. Okay, so once we've described the problem using who, where, and when, the next step is to start connecting the clues. And this means we've got to dig a lot deeper to find the real why. Now, it's really, really crucial to understand the difference between a risk factor and a determinant. A risk factor is a specific behavior, right, like smoking. But a determinant, that's the broader underlying condition, like poverty or high stress, that might lead someone to smoke in the first place. Good epidemiologists, they investigate both. To help visualize all this, epidemiologists use a few different models. The simplest one is this classic triangle. You've got the agent, which is the germ or the what. You've got the host, which is the person who gets sick, the who. And you've got the environment, the conditions that let them meet, the where. So think of a mosquito with malaria, that's the agent, biting a person, the host, near some stagnant water, the environment. Simple, right? But let's be honest, reality is usually way more complicated than that. That's where the web of causation comes in. It shows that most health problems, especially the chronic ones, aren't caused by just one thing. They come from this tangled web of factors, everything from your DNA to your zip code. The job of the epidemiologist is to figure out how to untangle that web.
So all this stuff isn't just a cool history lesson about 19th century London. The field of epidemiology is more relevant today than it has ever been, and it's being used to tackle the incredibly complex health crises of our modern world.
So, what are today's health detectives investigating? Well, the cases are huge. They're on the front lines of global pandemics like COVID-19. They're figuring out the health effects of climate change. They're asking why things like obesity are on the rise and how the spread of misinformation on social media is impacting our mental health.
And here's the thing. No single detective can solve these cases alone. No way. Modern epidemiology is a total team sport. It brings together biologists, data scientists, sociologists, economists, you name it. It takes a really diverse team to solve a complex web of problems.
So, what does all this mean for you? Well, it means the investigation is far from over. The world needs more curious people, people who aren't afraid to ask the tough questions. It's your turn to join the case. This quote, it just perfectly captures the whole spirit of epidemiology. This isn't a science that's stuck in a lab somewhere. The clues are literally all around us, in our communities, in our daily lives. And every little pattern you notice has the potential to lead to a world-changing breakthrough. And that's where STEMConnect Global comes in. We can help you build your own detectives toolkit. Our courses cover the whole shebang, from public health and data analysis to the social and environmental factors that shape our health, giving you the skills you need to start your own investigations.
We've gone on quite a journey, right? From ancient beliefs to modern data science, from a single water pump in London to massive global health crises. But the quest to understand and improve human health, well, that's a story that's still being written, and the most important chapters are yet to come.
So, are you ready? Ready to start seeing the patterns in the world around you? To connect the dots and uncover the why behind our health? At STEMConnect Global, you can explore courses in biostatistics, environmental science, health policy, and so much more. Your journey starts now. Visit www.stemconnectonline.com to begin. The next great discovery could be yours.